No, that's good. And yeah, as I said, I'm happy to have you here. And yeah, just to start off, you can introduce yourself and that people get a little bit more context around your age, what you do for work, so that you understand your lifestyle, where you also at with your age for your hormones and so on, before we then dive a little bit deeper today. Yeah.
Yeah. So my name is Paul Farr. I am a small business owner here in Denver, Colorado. I'm a 45-year-old, I would say, semi-healthy man. I Where to go from there? I just feel like um, I just need a change, right? Like I needed a change in my life. I needed to get back to the me that I was wanting to be. So
Perfect. Yeah, like you're one of the very few guys who came in who wasn't like very big, or you didn't have like tons and tons of fat to lose. Yes, there was a little belly and the abs were a little bit covered, but there's not so much weight. What would you say, or let me say like this: when a lot of guys come in and they have like a big belly and man boobs and all that stuff, they say like, hey, I need to change that. There's a lot of me that has to go. In your case, that wasn't the case. What would you say was your motivation to just say, okay, I'm already healthy, I look good, why still that change?
yeah, so I wanted to get back to, the best me I could be, right? And that's not just the way I look, the way it's more about the way I feel and what I know I can be and what I know I can achieve. And I know we've discussed it in the past, but like my energy levels was really, really low. Um, I would wake up in the morning and I would sleep well at night, but I would wake up in the morning and just not have the energy. Like I just didn't want to get up. I didn't want to go to work. I just didn't want to not like live, but I just didn't have the energy to keep going. And I hit that wall. So I think that was my main motivation, was to get back to the energy levels that I was accustomed to and what I need to live my life and run my businesses. And I think the other side of that is the weight loss and the, you know, getting better looking, and also like having definition again.
So really the feeling more than anything, right? Feeling, would you say you were a former athlete, or yeah, just in college, maybe football or soccer or anything?
I played tennis in
Mhm.
college. But outside that, I would not consider myself an athlete by
Mhm.
any means. I mean, I did weightlifting, that sort of thing, but I wouldn't consider myself an athlete.
And yeah, and just to clarify, when you say you you wanted to basically get that feeling back, or yeah, like your best self, can you describe that a little bit further?
Yeah, so like in the past, I probably in the last, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago, I had really become in the best shape of my life. Honestly, I was pretty cut. I went to the gym 4 to 5 times a week. I had a trainer. I was eating the right way. I was just living, and I hate to say these words, but living my best life. And I felt good. That changes your mood and changes the way you feel about yourself, and also changes your outlook on life. And then when I moved cross country, I lost that connection with the gym, lost that connection with my trainer, and I just kind of coasted, and I just didn't do anything. So the longer I did that, the more kind of upset I became with myself, because I knew that I was just not doing what I needed for me. Um, so that's what I mean by that. I feel like now, I feel like I'm back. I lost, quite a bit of weight, starting to rebuild that muscle. But that certainly has affected my mood, and my energy levels. I also think, what I was doing before was, I had a plan. I had a written plan every day. I had accountability with my coach. And I mean, as a business owner, I need that. I need to say, put this on my calendar. I'm going to do this. I'm going to report this every day. And if I don't, I know there's going to be Morrow asking me questions, like, hey, what happened yesterday? Or did you not eat dinner? And I need the no excuse mentality, right?
Mhm.
Like there is no excuse. Like sometimes we have valid reasons for doing things, but there's no excuses acceptable. So that's what I need. And that's what I found with you.
It's good. Thank you. Yeah, I'm happy to hear that. And we're building you, rebuilding you back
Right.
basically to that best shape, prime shape.
Right.
What you said you had like a trainer and a routine also in the past. Did you also try some, diets or other programs before you started with the kinetic method?
Um, I've not, I mean, I won't say I really have dieted in my life because I've never really been a big guy, right? I mean, I would like change the way I ate, but I wouldn't follow any kind of serious diet. I think when I moved cross country, I started looking for quick fixes because right? Like, so I joined I'm not going to say what kind of gym, but I joined a gym that really just didn't work for me. It was a really high intensity type place. Um, and my body did not respond well to that. And in fact, I thought I would get more energy from that. And it was the exact opposite. It was draining my energy. So to answer your question, I wouldn't say I followed any kind of specific diet. I was looking for a quick fix by joining a couple of gyms that maybe were fads, if that
Mm,
makes sense.
yeah. Was that CrossFit or HIIT workout?
One of them was a CrossFit.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like
Yeah,
to use
yeah.
those words because, but yes, I did join a CrossFit gym, and
Hmm.
and I won't say it about killed me. I mean, I could do the workouts, but it was really draining on my life.
Yeah, I've seen that so many times. Like the guys who do CrossFit, they just feel so drained. It takes, because as a business owner, like there's that stress you have from work, the mental stress.
Right.
So that already takes part of your recovery, your nutrients, and then you add the physical element to it, which is so stressful, and you sweat a lot, you lose all that
Right.
water, these minerals, and then you have a recipe for disaster, so to
Yeah. And,
speak.
and
Where
look,
you
that
think you're doing good stuff because the workout is fun, but then it's like,
right.
wow, why do I feel like so
Right. And look,
overtrained?
that program works for a lot of people. It
Yeah.
just didn't work for me.
Uh-huh. Yeah, a lot of people are like average, like not average in the sense of that, um, from from the personality, rather from the work. Like they, as a business owner, like just because you turn off the computer doesn't mean you stop working. Like the
Right.
brain is always working, and so if
It
you work
never
nine to
ends.
five, it's different, right? It's like, okay, the computer's off, like I'm done, like I don't check emails, anything, and so the pressure is different. You don't have taxes, in that sense, for the business and expenses and employees. I think you also have a team, right?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah. It is.
Good, good insights here. And looking now forward, right? With last, I would say, yeah, the last 4.5 months since almost 5 months since you started the program, the Kinetic Method. Obviously, one of your other buddies, Terry, got you in or recommended this. That's why you pulled the trigger, or was part of why you pulled the trigger. What would you say were some of the results that you've gotten during this time? We can start like with the tangible ones, like weight, body fat, but also maybe touch on the energy that you said that was like a big thing for you as well.
Yeah. So I mean, naturally, the first thing like we worked on was the weight, right? I mean, we really cut back, um, and then I really thought, okay, we're gonna really cut these calories back. Am I gonna have the energy to literally survive? Like how is this gonna work? But once I started following your method and following your ideas, the energy came. Like was eating the fewest calories I probably have ever eaten in my life, honestly, and I still had energy, but I was eating better food, more wholesome food, and some of the nutrients that you were requesting us to do. So the weight came off, energy levels accelerated, which made my mood feel better, right? I had a better outlook on life. And I was motivated, like I saw those small gains early on, and that made me more motivated to want it more, right? Like, I'm going to succeed. I want to get this weight off. I want to get more energy. I want to feel better. So I think that that's what kind of happened to me early on, was I kind of got hooked to it because I saw really quick gains. And part of that quick gains, I understand I had an oral surgery, so I really couldn't eat that, for about 2 weeks. So I think that helped me get early gains there. But hey, we'll take that.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. And weight wise, what yeah, would you say, because the weight is one thing, right? It's an on the scale, but when you look at your body, would you say like the change there, you were happy also with the change there in how you look? Because that's the most important thing, right? More than
Yeah,
any number on the scale.
absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it's just, the number is just a number on the scale,
Mm-hmm.
right? But it's the definition is coming back. That makes me feel good. And look, people are noticing, like people, in the office complex I'm in here are like, what are you doing differently? And so they ask those questions. So they are noticing. It's obvious to people. I mean, I lost quite a bit of weight, and now I'm rebuilding that. And now's that time, that definition phase, and it's encouraging to hear, right?
It reinforces your behavior.
Yeah,
Then you know you're
absolutely.
in the right track.
Yeah.
And when you joined, or before you joined, right? Were you a little bit skeptical that you said, hey, this kind of internet, can does it work, and does it work for me? Like, what are some of the thoughts you had there?
Yeah. I mean, in general, I'm a pretty skeptical person. I think that comes along with owning, being a small business owner, right? You got to be very careful. Um, I was very skeptical because, like, look, we see so many things every day, like, advertisements, and you have to really like think, okay, does that work? And if it does, how does it work? And I think that was the difference between what you were presenting was you had a method, but you also had the why behind that, right? I think that's sometimes equally important, right? To know why we do this, not just here's the results we're trying to get to, but how do we do it and why? And
Mm-hmm.
I think that was really pushed me over the edge. I saw Terry's results, and that was fascinating to me. And then I was like, okay, why do I want to do this? And I think when we studied that, that helped push me towards this method. And look, it's worked. And I've been very skeptical along the way. You've known that. And I'm like, I question everything. And but so far it just works. Can't tell you exactly how, it just works.
It's good. Yeah, I agree with the why. I believe you're a very analytical person, like left brain, and I'm like that as well. Like, if I see the results and there are plenty of results, and I say, okay, I believe it can work, but I still want to almost buy into it logically and say, oh, this is the formula, and
Right.
that then reinforce the behavior. Where it's like, yeah, if I don't know it, it's a bit harder.
Yeah.
So I'm like
Yeah,
that as well.
absolutely.
Yeah. One last question for you, for anyone watching this who's maybe sitting on the fence thinking, I can do it on my own, or I'm not sure if this will work, I'm not sure if this will work for me. Like, what would you tell that person who's watching this right now?
I would say, give it a go, right? Like, you can be skeptical, but give it a go. I think that, it will provide motivation. Well, it'll provide first a plan with accountability, which will be motivation to succeed, right? Like I said before, there's no excuses in this plan. Um, and, the excuses really are just letting yourself down. I also feel like, we have group calls. I think that having that support from within as well, like other people are going through the same thing you're going through, having that like sounding board is important also. Um, but what I would tell someone is just jump in, right? If you want to be your best you, just pull the trigger, right? I mean, you can make it a short-term thing, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but it's going to work, and you're going to probably want to go long-term. Like Terry said, he wished he had kind of set himself up for a longer term at the beginning. So that's, proof positive that you should pull the trigger.
Yeah, I agree. It's with what he said. Andrew, the other State Farm,
Mhm.
yeah, not Andy Gavron, but Andrew Roach, and he's like the youngest guy in the group. And Terry said, like, yeah, like I wish I did it at your age, right? Not now that I'm 42, 43. So
Right. Yeah.
awesome, cool. Thank you so much for doing this and for being here today. And yeah, it's good to
Absolutely.
have you on and share your experience.
I appreciate it.